He's the voice you trust for the teams you love. You're listening to Marc Daniels and the Beat of Sports.
Happy Monday and welcome to the Beat of Sports. I'm Marc Daniels. Chris Vasquez over there.
That's me.
How you doing, Chris?
I'm good, Mark. How are you?
Good. Have a nice weekend.
I did.
Yeah.
Made some money, watched some soccer, spent time with the fam. Good weekend.
Chris Smitty made money working.
Yes.
It nail a 9-team parlay using Pakistani cricket. Yeah. Anyway, you're doing good.
Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, yeah, well, stuff
Appreciate that.
Yeah, it was good. Had a nice weekend as well. Told you, wife and I had a little date night. It was nice.
Nice.
You tell me when you want to make a scene. The minute my wife said she's got to go to the bathroom, I was like, game on.
I'm going to have to give you some restaurant etiquette, Mark.
I don't need restaurant etiquette.
I don't know.
Listen,
based on that story,
I told
you might.
I still told you, despite whatever small incident of a great meal, I left a 40% tip. I could have held it against the waitress, but it wasn't her fault. Kitchen's got to pick up the pace on a Saturday.
Hey, if they make the food fresh, it was great. You're
You
gonna have to wait.
You can't let 25 minutes go between the appetizer and the main dish. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't have it. Yeah. Still up to great tip, though. Fun night. Good night.
Good.
Yeah.
Order an old fashioned or anything? Any cocktail?
Yeah, I did have a cocktail.
Nice.
Yeah. Rocohula makes a good drink. Really,
Okay.
it was nice. It was good. And otherwise, routine stuff and so forth. Did watch the match yesterday, which we'll get into in a little bit. But yeah. And today, new week begins. SEC, 4 days of propaganda over in Tampa for their media days. Which I think in 5 years, not 10, and maybe the SEC still does it. I don't even know if media days exist in the next 5 years.
Do we need to do them?
Well, it's like I told you in Frisco, the Big 12 doesn't need 2 days. They don't. The reason why they're going to probably keep it 2 days is they don't want the image of, it's just not as big of a conference anymore. The SEC doesn't need 4 days. The ACC didn't need 3 days. It's just it's a PR propaganda machine, which every conference does. The Big Ten is going to do it. I just think in 5 years we're going to look back and go, God, those were stupid.
Well, again, do we need to do that?
Well,
what is the
but here's what it's become. It's now become just a marketing machine for conferences. Like the Big 12 did it to, here's our Monster Energy drink deal. And the Brendan Swordsby story and stuff like that. And it's not that it doesn't serve a purpose, but accessibility to coaches and players has never been greater. Now, you may argue and go, well, no, schools now produce their own content and don't. But come on. A football coach, when camp opens, may not be available every single day, but they're available enough days in the week. Players are made available. It's not like you're not going to get access to these people.
Mhm. And
in mid-July, and the Big 12 went the week right after the 4th of July, what are you getting? It's
Right.
just it's like what college football preseason magazines in May used to be. It's like you don't even know what a depth chart is going to be. So it's just it's a marketing machine. And then and I'm part of this group too. We hype it up like it's something really big. Like the big storyline is, well, what's Lane Kiffin going to say? Who cares in mid-July? Like, he's going to be good for 20 more comments before the year kicks off. The pressure's on Kirby Smart. It is? Or what? But I get why we do. I just think like a lot of things, we're going to look back and go, that was probably dumb. And 4 days of it, it's like, well, it's the SEC. You don't need 4 days. You could do it in 2, but you drag it out and it's the same stuff. And I mock it, and I was mocking it even in Frisco. State your name and your affiliation. It's Bob with tigertails.edu. He's got like 9 followers, and he's asking, and then the guy that asked like the general fun question, like, hey, what do you like to do in a day off, and get the eye roll, the serious guy. He goes, yeah, give me that microphone. He wants to know who's the backup left guard. Like, all right. Like, your question was really important. So we're going to look back at this. But it is SEC week. And, there is college football news this morning with Michigan's AD Ward Manuel stepping down the end of the calendar year, which is insane. And I'll do a little bit deeper dive with this. You know why it's insane? Because the initial information they put out in their report, he should be fired now. Do not go into your office today. Give us your keys, and your ID badge is no longer good. Anyway, but it's all good. I'll get to the World Cup. Sometimes I listen to WFAN in the morning when I'm driving in, and Boomer and Geo, the morning show. And I get it. And it should be 95% of their shows typically the Mets and Yankees in the summer and the Giants and Jets in the fall. I get it. But I love the non-soccer guy who today is like, 1-0, that's it? A world championship? Make the goals twice as big. I love when that guy comes out, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We do have some American football, which I'll get to.
Actually, I'm going to have the non-soccer guy question for you, though.
Oh, good. We got that and a whole bunch more. We kick it off with everybody's favorite segment.
It's almost like an unwritten rule that when you become a father, you become king of the bad dad jokes.
What is Forrest Gump's password? 1 Forrest 1.
Are you ready to laugh? We know at least one person is. Here's CB's dad joke of the day.
Oh, that's so great.
Got my liquid death. I'm ready to go,
What kind
Mark.
of flavor you got today?
Severed lime.
Okay.
I got the variety pack. You're going to love this flavor.
So like variety pack cereals where you're like, oh, wow, I got Frosted Flakes and Sugar Smacks. Like, oh, I got K19 or Special K.
So this
K19.
one has my Dr. Death, the Dr. Pepper flavor, my severed lime, cherry. This is the name, cherry obituary.
Oh, wow.
And then an orange one that I don't like, but I'll drink it anyways. Mark, I love this one.
Chris laughing already.
Mark, have I ever told you a joke about a pop fly?
No, Chris, you've never told me a joke about a pop fly.
That's because it'd be over your head. Pop fly over.
And we're off.
Hey, what's up? This is Pat Lynch.
And I'm Taco Bob, and you're not rocking out with WJRR.
Lock it in here with Marc Daniels and the beat of sports.
You can access this show on FM 96.9 AM 740. Use the iHeart app, download it's free, and make it a preset button and be anywhere in the world and listen to us in the iHeart app. And the video stream is up at our YouTube page, 96 of the Game Orlando. Click on the logo, the live button. Also get that stream by going on Twitter, 96.9 Game On. And you can watch the show. You want to ask your World Cup question now? Or
Yeah, I can ask it now. So I'm by no means am I bashing Messi, but that performance.
I think you're non-soccer guy, but you're not obnoxious non-soccer guy. Like, I think maybe it's because you're married to a Colombian woman who has a great passion for soccer. Meaning, I don't think you mock the sport. I think you recognize the skill level and appreciate the highest performance like we watch in this World Cup. You're not the guy that just complains, I can never watch a match. So go ahead.
No. I understand why Messi is playing. I understand why he spent the entire match walking.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
But if you're Argentina,
yes.
I mean, you're essentially playing one man down with Messi just literally not doing anything until he gets the ball.
No, you're not, but go ahead.
Well,
okay. So
like, explain that
point.
Like, I didn't understand. All he's doing is just walking
right
until he gets the ball.
Okay.
And again, I understand his greatness.
Okay.
But to me, it seemed like they were essentially already playing a man down with him just kind of, let me just walk the entire pitch for the entire match.
Several things in play here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. One, add up the minutes that Argentina and Messi have played beyond 90 minutes. They have played the most minutes of anybody in the World Cup because they've gone to extra time. The way this has gone for them, that's going to wear you down. Two, they played a team that taught them a masterclass in possession. What makes Spain so good is their ability of controlling the ball. If you're not a soccer fan, you may think it was boring as they just kind of pass. They control possession because it wears you down chasing them. People go, why they keep kicking it back to the goalie? It is part of their process to wear you down. And at some point, some of the opponent's players are exhausted. Messi knows Spain's strategy going in, so he's not going to run around and chase a ball. Plus, at 39, he cannot run as he did at 29. What makes him so great even at 39 is when he sees opportunities, he will make the most of it and is still incredible at creating opportunities for others and possessing the ball when he is in position to do it. He wasn't going to run around all day yesterday because it is Spain's strategy to wear you down. Two, Argentina was not good yesterday. They weren't good yesterday, partly because of the style that Spain played. The minutes caught up with them, and they're sitting there frustrated because Spain is possessing the ball. Now, Spain does not score.
Mm-hmm. That goalie, Argentina's goalie was incredible.
But keep in mind, Argentina's first shot on goal was at the 117th minute. And you'll say, well, how can they not get shot? Because Spain's defense is so good that even when you create an opportunity, they got what seems like 20 guys on the field. Everywhere you turn, Spain is the master at doing that. Ideally, Spain would like to have won 4-0 and a couple of goals called back, but it's 0-0. In some ways, though, Argentina has them right where they want them. They're scoreless going to extra time. And if you're an Argentinian fan, you're like, this is what we do. We just kind of hang around and then we score. But it's shot after shot after shot. And you're the Argentinian goalie. And you're like, I got to get some help here, guys. Okay? And then they give up the goal. And even then, it's not over because you're thinking, hey, Argentina's still in this because this is what they do. And they did create a couple of opportunities late, a couple of corners. But it was a master class by Spain of what they do, keeping possession and just wearing you down. So the answer to your question is he's 39. He doesn't run like he's 29. He knew the strategy going in, and he has to conserve energy because he knows there are going to be few moments to create opportunities. But Spain was so good at doing what they did. Spain was a significantly better side yesterday, and yet won 1-0. And if you listen to Stu Holden on the broadcast, he brought up the point. Spain knows you can't get to PKs. Yep. Argentina is better. No guarantee that Argentina was going, but they're better. Mm-hmm. And Spain 1-4 in their last 5 World Cup PK situations. So in many ways, Argentina's trying to hang on. And then when Spain scores, Argentina's got to try to be more aggressive. But I get why non-soccer guy can watch it and go, well, it was 1-0. It was boring. And if you watch any of Saturday's third place match, you go, how come they can score 10 goals? Let's see. We're not playing a lot of people. Nobody wants to get hurt in a third place game. It's wide open. Guys aren't running as much to catch up. So, yeah, 10 goals. And the third place game was incredible, just insane. 1-6-4 by England. Quickly, 10 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach.
Can I ask one more stupid question?
Yeah, no, it's not stupid. It's a valid question. And by the way, Argentina was not good yesterday.
No,
they were not good because of what Spain did to them. And I think their minutes caught up in Spain's style was not going to work for Argentina. Yeah.
Again, this is going to sound extremely crazy, but at 39, you just mentioned all the minutes that Argentina's racked up.
Yeah.
Would it have been beneficial to sit Messi for the first half,
No.
knowing Spain's strategy?
Can't do it. No, and again, I understand the question. You still need him on the field because of what he draws when he gets the ball to then create opportunities for those that are not covered. And to further answer your question, it's why he is seen not running as much.
But he hardly touched the ball in the first half.
Because Spain was so good.
So that's my point.
I understand, but you're not sitting him. You're not sitting him. There are designed substitutions, and in fact, watch what Spain did, and it worked, of who they brought on in the second half. And you try to bring fresh legs on. It's not a crazy question, but you're not going to sit that guy in a World Cup final. That is never going to happen. And just to follow up on a couple of other things, okay? And it's fine if you're not soccer guy here, okay? But Chris, I'm going to ask you some questions to kind of compare the non-soccer guy who's like, well, what, you want nothing, match nothing, okay? Why don't we use caveman clubs in baseball for bats?
I don't think they could stand up to the 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
But why do we use such a little bat if someone's throwing a ball big? Why don't we use like caveman bats? Okay. Ready? Why do you guys in American football, that guy that stands over someone who is screaming before I guess the play begins, when he gets the ball, he turns and gives it to a guy that runs into a pile? Why do you guys do that? What is that? Why do you guys do that? Why don't you just throw it all the time? How come you guys, like, everybody lines up? It's like a rugby. He runs into a pile. Why? When the non-soccer guy goes, you got to double the size of the goals. You got, like, you know how stupid that sounds when someone can then look at our sports that we are supposedly the best at and go, well, I try to watch your baseball thing. I'm trying to understand. Everybody stands around and one guy throws a ball and another guy with this really thin bat
I mean, you can
tries to hit it.
So you can make any.
And then sometimes he doesn't swing, but he still gets to go to a base. Like,
So you can make that argument with any sport.
of course, I'm just saying the ignorant American sports fan wants to change something that's worked for almost 200 years since they've been playing soccer, but we get an idea how to make it better. You know, it's fine if you don't want to follow the sport. It's fine. I've said this all along. It's cool. The World Cup's gone. You don't have to follow anything else, but you can watch. Chris, can you watch a 14-10 football game with phenomenal defense and come away as if you watched a great game?
Yes.
Can you watch a 2-1 baseball game that had combined starters, 25 strikeouts, and they gave up 3 hits and go, what an awesome pitcher's duel?
Mm-hmm.
You can watch a 1-0 soccer match and still be impressed, even as poorly as Argentina played yesterday, and appreciate the greatness of Spain's system, and yet still had moments where Argentina, I mean, in the last 4 minutes, Argentina has 3 chances where you're like, how does the ball not go in? And still come away going, yeah, I kind of get how 1-0 can be exciting. I'm not telling you it was a great 1-0 match. I'm telling you it still provided some excitement in the end if you were watching.
Is it fair to say that the people who are clamoring for double the goal size, they see that the change that American football has made to increase the offense what baseball has done to try and see more runs be produced, is it safe to, I guess, assume that they see that and they want to see
VAR
maybe changes
didn't
to soccer?
exist before, so VAR is changing it. Sometimes you would say not to the good development of the game, and if you look at the offside goal that was on Spain, he's literally inches of an elbow and a shoulder.
Yep.
It's offside. But soccer has evolved. I mean, heck, we went from 3 to 5 and substitutions. We've added a VAR. The hydration break may not be here for long, but soccer has evolved, and the player, just like in other sports, bigger, stronger, faster. And you didn't need the 6-4 match on Saturday to come away going, this was exciting. If you watched any period of the last 6 weeks, I think you come away going, yeah, I can appreciate the skill set. So, I mean, would 3-2 been exciting? Yeah. And I'm not telling you it was a great match. I'm just telling you it was a great performance by Spain to do what they wanted to do to make it kind of the match that it was. But it got chippy and it got a little tense and all sorts of stuff. And there was drama at the end. And Argentina had multiple chances. They just did not get a shot on goal. You're like, how can you not take a shot on goal? Please appreciate what Spain did that made it impossible for them to get. Every time that ball went towards the box, it seemed like there's 15 Spanish players around the play. That's how good they are. And by the way, Yamil Lamal actually did not have a great World Cup. The 19-year-old, he wasn't Spain's best player. He may be their future at 19, but he wasn't great in the World Cup, and yet is a World Cup champion. So I enjoyed yesterday's match. I appreciate the strategy of Spain, the emotion of everything that took place in the World Cup, and I thought it was a great event. And the fact that Zlatan is retired as a TV announcer makes me sad today. I think Big Noon Kickoff should sign him to a contract. I want him in Columbus, Ohio for a noon kickoff. Yes. I want that. I want that. So I don't know what the TV number is going to be. I'm going to guess it does 32 to 35 million. I think it'll do 32 to 35 million, which is a great number. And I thought Fox was great. I mean, the critics all over the place. I thought Fox did a great job. And I'm not shocked. But again, if you reduce yourself to get on a social media platform and criticize the halftime of the match yesterday, just come on, man. Just come on. Stop it. I mean,
my opinion
we
has to be
Americanized it more because there's never been a halftime before yesterday. And it was what it was. It was fine. It was good.
Are you a little bit concerned, though, given everything with the grass that field has been through, to have everyone on the field for then the players to go out and play the second half?
Nobody complained about the second half field. Nope.
They were mentioning that on the broadcast that the field looked a little worn and torn.
Had no impact on the second half at all. None whatsoever. If anything regarding real grass is the NFL Players Association point of you can do this at every field is correct.
Which, why don't NFL owners want to do that?
Well, this now becomes, listen, the NFLPA gets some fuel coming out of this going, hey, wait. Now, their argument back of stadium operators and owners is, yeah, you could have that grass looking nice when you prepare it in May, June, July for the event that takes place. Now tell me when it gets to be cold in November, December, and January. I can't keep that same plush green. However, the technology is going to come back and go, yeah, you kind of can.
Yeah, because don't they have heaters under the field now?
The NFLPA took note, believe me. They took note. And MetLife looked great with grass throughout the entire tournament, as did AT&T in Dallas or Arlington.
And Jerry Jones has no reason to not put grass.
NFLPA is all over it. Just said, hey, we just did this thing with fields that were used multiple times in a week. Yeah. All right. Last week, the news of tourist development tax money up for grabs again. The Dreamers would like a lot of it. UCF would like some of it. Other people also seeking dollars. A closer look at the process, which, by the way, will not take months, but weeks. And the sports angle next.
You can't spell sports talk radio without Marc Daniels. This is the Beat of Sports.
Last week, the news that Orange County is going to look at another round of tourist development tax money, and people had a ability of going and literally go online and sign up and explain why you want a piece of a large pot of money. The Orlando Dreamers got a lot of attention. The group seeking a baseball team here. Back 3 years later, requesting again $975 million, which is what they requested 3 years ago, but did not get anything from Orange County. UCF is back as well, $119 million for them, and a bunch of other groups as well. Ryan Gillespie covers local government news for the Orlando Sentinel. Been a guest of our show before, back to talk about this item. Ryan, welcome back. Good morning. How are you?
I am doing all right, Mark. Did you apply for TDT funding?
You know, I thought about it, but the application, which wasn't that difficult, I kind of felt like I had a hard time being honest with a lot of things that I'd be asking for, like expanding for a stickball court in my backyard and, you know, a sauna, maybe a little bit too much. Let me start here. This is, first off, tourism is good because the money's been rolling in at a record pace. Am I correct that if anybody thinks tourism is struggling, just look at Orange County because the money's rolling in?
Yeah, I think tourism might be struggling in other places in the country, but certainly the TDT here would show you that hasn't reflected itself in Orlando. I think some of that is it costs so much money for a hotel room here now, and it's a tax on how much money you spend. So I think the room night price going up, I think, is certainly helping things. And, you know, there's new theme parks and all kinds of stuff that people are coming here from as well.
Can you walk me through the process here? Because it's not like this happens every year. What led to the mayor announcing, okay, we're going to start the task force again. Here's the website. Go sign up. And then this happens not in a matter of months, in a matter of weeks. So what led to Orange County going, okay, we're going to do this again? And what is the process?
It's been really interesting to see this kind of develop because it's going to happen really fast. Like this group is basically done with their work here within like 2 weeks. So it's going to happen quickly. And there had been rumors for a couple of months that the mayor was thinking about doing this before he leaves office. He leaves office at the end of the year. There's a big election coming up. So the entire power structure of the county could change. I mean, you're going to have a new mayor. There's going to be 8 county commission districts and 6 of them are on the ballot this year. So depending on how these races shake out, you're going to have a totally new county government. So I don't know if there's something to that into the timing of this. I think some of the timing too is just there's a lot of money coming in. You know, even the most optimistic people in tourism didn't see this amount of TDT coming in that has come in routinely over the last couple of years. So there's some amount of money in there that can be allocated. I think coming out of COVID, you saw they approved an expansion of the convention center and then had to cancel it in 2020 as the TDT collapsed because it's a tax that's a reflection on the health of tourism. So certainly in 2020, it was not doing well. So maybe that's part of it, is trying to get the convention center back underway. You know, there's all kinds of proposals on here that are pretty interesting.
Before I ask a little bit about the sports side of it, is it possible, because this was my next question, with the mayor's term up, and as you mentioned, 6 of 8 commission seats, is there any blowback to say, well, wait a minute, why are we doing this as a swan song? And is it possible to delay this, or are they committed that money's going to go out here before the election?
Yeah, it's certainly possible. I mean, to get really into the weeds on this, as constituted, the Board of County Commissioners is supposed to have 7 voting members. So there are 6 district commissioners, and then the mayor who's elected countywide, that gets you to 7. One of those seats is vacant right now. Mm-hmm. So it's a 6-member board. So to get things done, you get a little complicated when you have an even number, when you're talking about potentially 3-3 votes on stuff. There are some number of county commissioners, including Myra Uribe, who is running to be the next mayor, who think that this process should not go forward and that it should be up to whatever the next board is. You know, whether that manifests itself into essentially killing any project that comes forward. We will see. There's been some talk of that I've kind of heard, but I don't know how serious it is. I don't think you're going to see, a lot of 6-0 votes on stuff, though. Ultimately, this board that's meeting in the next couple of weeks is an advisory board of people who were appointed by these various people, but it's the board of county commissioners and the mayor that ultimately have the final say on if money actually goes out the door.
By the way, I'd love to be on this board. I mean, joking aside, I would. And to be honest, I read some of the people that are on this, and I'm not saying I'm qualified, but I read some of the other people. I'm like, I'm just as qualified. I've lived here for almost 40 years. Got a pretty good idea about sports and politics and things like that. But anyway, that's for another day.
No, I mean, to your point, that's who's on this board.
Yeah, exactly.
The board is supposed to be a reflection of society. It's a bunch of normal people, and there's some number of people who are in the tourism world, and there's some number of people who are affiliated with various cities and counties and whatnot. So yeah, I'm not going to endorse your candidacy, but yeah, you are certainly qualified to be on this board, as is probably everybody listening to this.
Let me ask you a little bit on the sports side of it. The Dreamers 3 years ago asked for $975 million. The late great Pat Williams is part of that effort. Obviously, Pat no longer with us, rest in peace, but the Dreamers are still alive and dreaming, and are comeback seeking again. I don't know what's changed with the county in a position for that. And this is an opinion by you. I don't know what they would think. Is it possible that they look at some sort of contingency that, hey, if this, then that, or has it got to be, yes, we do, or no, we don't give you anything?
So going back 3 years ago, I don't know how seriously anybody at the county took the Dreamers proposal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they came in asking for something like $1 billion, and the premise of a baseball team here was kind of a pipe dream at that point. In 3 years, that's changed at least a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the betting odds would be. Orlando certainly probably wouldn't be the betting favorite over like Tampa, say, but it's more realistic now than it was. So I think there's certainly a worthy to apply. Now, do I think the county is going to give them $975 million? I have no idea. But I think what it is it's a public forum that the Dreamers can make their case. Anything they say is going to be heard by the powers that be, whether that's this board or, the future county commission that, if this one won't greenlight their proposal, maybe the next one will. But the biggest thing that I think that they are still kind of looking for is they don't have a stadium site. The Dreamers have picked out land that is owned by the county that they would like to be a stadium site. The county has not greenlit that. Maybe this is a process to advance the ball there. Maybe they just outright get funding. Maybe they get absolutely nothing. But it'll be interesting to see how their proposal is received this time versus 3 years ago.
Yeah, I brought that up, and some people have yelled at me. I said, they don't own that land. That's the county's land. They don't have land. And you probably have heard this. Other people say there's other parcels of land that would be better suited. There's some environmental issues with that piece of land. That's not being anti-Dreamers. It's just people got to realize they don't own that land where this proposed stadium is supposed to be built. That's the county land there. I'm just curious if the county says, look, we're not going to give you $175 million, but we may set aside X in the event that the Rays do contact Orlando or in Orange County about possible relocation. Let me move to the other one. It's UCF, who did get money last time. They've come back now asking for better than $100 million. Does the fact that they got money before make it easier to think that they would get it again, or you shouldn't assume anything?
I think both of those things are true.
Mm-hmm.
I think, it probably helps because everything I've heard out of the county was that it was a good experience for them. I mean, they allocated money, a relatively small amount of money compared to what we were talking about with, convention centers and baseball stadiums and whatnot, to the Roth Tower, I believe it's called, the football stadium. And it's already built, or it's basically built, like it's almost done. And so, county officials have toured it. They've been in it. They've seen the dollars at work. They can point to a completed project that, hey, this happened from allocation to being done inside of 3 years. Politicians like seeing things get done because they can point to that, in various campaigns, and they can tell their voters like, hey, look at this thing I got done. So yeah, I think being shovel ready, if UCF in fact is with their proposal, which was for broadcast and event infrastructure. You might know more about that than I do at the Bounce House. And a new soccer stadium and track complex, as well as a new softball field, or a new softball stadium, excuse me. So if those are in fact shovel ready, I would imagine that would be appealing to the board. Yeah, no, I think investing in UCF is something that the county has enjoyed doing.
One of the parts of that is to help those people with Wi-Fi that can't send a text message inside the stadium that they've been screaming about for years as part of the upgrade, and a lot of fiber and some other changes. And then the soccer stadium and the softball stadium are part of an idea to work with the sports commission to bring events there, which is part of what you have to do to bring in tourism. Just one more on and I guess an allocation of dollars. The Dr. Phillips folks, they didn't come last time. They're coming now. My guess is they're going to get something here. The people, though, that look at the convention center going, wait a minute, you're back again with $500 million. We haven't even started the last one, and you want another $500 million here. But they'll argue, yeah, because it's a driving engine to tourism here.
Yeah, so I don't have what I have are summaries of these applications. So I have basically their summary or their multiple page application boiled down to a paragraph, and then I get a dollar figure. I'm really interested to see this Dr. Phillips for the Performing Arts Center one. I've seen a version of it when they presented to the city council a couple of months ago, but basically what they're proposing for $750 million is to expand from 9 theater venues to 20, which that's an unbelievable growth. But I mean, there's parking spaces included in that, like a parking garage, and they want to they're going to be all over that kind of their theater on various parcels. But it's a really fascinating idea. I've seen some renderings. And yeah, the convention center too is certainly one that they want to build this essentially like an event center at the convention center. And I guess I'm not a big business convention guy. I don't go to Vegas and Chicago for these things, but I guess elsewhere you don't have to leave the property essentially to go to the big concert in town or something like that. Whereas if you were, at whatever convention at the Orange County Convention Center, it's a little bit of a hike to get to the Kia Center or somewhere else. So I think that's kind of some of the brainchild on this. We'll see if they go for it. I've heard some pushback from at least some of the commissioners about another convention center expansion. But tourism, they're going to want that. So yeah. We'll see how that goes.
When Oracle pays Dave Matthews Band $2 million for the private concert, they don't want their convention people to have to travel elsewhere. They like it right there on the property. 2 final questions here. What's the status of the state law about how these dollars have to be used? As much as I'm a sports guy, I've said for years, I wish some of this could go towards infrastructure. It's desperately needed in Orange County. What's the status of it? Might the governor election have an impact on that, or does it not get connected to that? And then I know you touched on this at the beginning. This all, as far as the advisory board, this is going to take place next couple of weeks. And by the time we get a month from now, we'll have a pretty good idea where we stand. First, where's the state law on this? And second, what's the realistic timeline for all this stuff?
So the state law hasn't changed. It's still basically restricted to being spent on tourism, marketing, building venues, essentially anything that you can make an argument is for tourism, essentially. So, if you think of, it's been used to build the Kia Center and the Dr. Phillips Center before. The locals use those things, but they also bring tourists in. Certainly built the convention center, Roth Tower over at the UCF football stadium. Certainly that brings tourism in. So if you just think of things that people travel here to go to, those are the things that can be built for. Now, the argument is that it should be able to be used for things that help the community. Tourists come here, and they use the roads. We all sit in that traffic. They flush the toilets. We pay the taxes that fund those wastewater programs. All sorts of things like that. They need law enforcement, which is funded by locals' property taxes. But the law doesn't allow that yet. There's been a push to change that. They actually got really close about a year ago, and at the 11th hour, it got pulled out of the Florida legislature's tax package. Granted, it could have still gotten vetoed by the governor. So that push is certainly going to happen again at some point. I think whoever the next governor is could certainly have a sway on that. That's 100% going to be something to watch, especially because we are going to be voting on here in a few months on this big property tax reform. So, local governments could be in a bind if this passes in terms of, trying to fund some things, and if they can peel off some money to, pay for cops at the theme parks or something like that, any dollar would help at that point.
Yeah.
So nothing's changed there.
And again, the council meets a next couple of weeks, right? The hearings get underway, right?
Yeah, the first one's tomorrow. So I think the biggest question that I have, and I've yet to find an answer from even groups who are applying, is we don't know how much money is available. I'm hoping we will find that out tomorrow, and if not very soon, because that'll dictate the pace on this. Because if they say there's $50 million available, there's $3 billion of proposals. So the competition will be really hot. But if there's $500 million available, then some of these big proposals get really interesting, I think.
Ryan Gillespie covers city government for the Orlando Sentinel. He's on X or Twitter at @Ryan Gillespie. Ryan, thanks so much. I appreciate you hopping on. We'll follow the story and have you back soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Mark.
Good stuff from Ryan. I should have applied, right? Like a water park in my backyard.
Why didn't you? Could have built a pickleball court.
I want to be in the council.
Why aren't you?
I don't have the county contacts as much as the city. Like, Buddy's a friend, could have pulled some strings there. But I know Mayor Demings, but I don't have the pull there. I mean, I've lived almost 40 years, right?
Yeah.
I'm worthy,
So could I apply? I've been here 30.
You can't apply. You got to be appointed. Yeah.
No one's going to appoint me.
I vote. Even in the elections that most of you don't vote in. Like, I study the ballot. I know issues. The property tax law, I believe, is going to be the impact that changes the TDT money. I think that will absolutely push it over the top because there's a lot of municipalities about to lose tens of millions of dollars. But I don't want to do too much politics here. When we come back, speaking of politics, the commissioner of this league stood by his statement regarding his league, what he said, and is he right? Next.
Hey, it's Johnny Magic from Johnny's house.
Look, we've got you covered with the hits and what's going on in the city beautiful.
And Mark, he's got everything you need to know in the sports world, with maybe a touch of sarcasm.
This is the Beat of Sports with Marc Daniels.
Mentioned earlier that the 4-day propaganda of the SEC media days are underway. I said the same thing about the Big 12 and the ACC. I do think in a few years, conference media days, I don't know if they're all gone, but anyway, I want to play a couple of things. Before I get to Greg Sankey and what he said this morning during his State of the League address, can I play something that went viral, Chris, from ACC media days last week?
Yes.
Okay. Pat Narduzzi's the football coach at Pitt, okay? And, Chris, every league, when you have, whether it's a commissioner or coaches, is going to defend their quality of play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no one goes, hey, well, I think we're 5th or 6th in the country, and we're kind of happy with that, right? I mean, no one says that. But Narduzzi said something about the ACC compared to the Big Ten that went viral. So let me play a little piece of it here.
Coming from Michigan State, spent 8 seasons there as a defensive coordinator, coming to Pitt in 2015. I said it then, I said it now. You know, after about 2 years in the league, I said this conference is better. It's better than the Big Ten. It's got more skill. I just think, up and down the East Coast, I just think there's so many players in our area where in the Big Ten trying to get players up there, to come up north, and it's, now it's got a little West flavor to it. But I've said that for years. And I'm going to stick to my guns. And you look at our record. You look at our record in bowl games against the SEC and the Big Ten. You look at our record, in the regular season. I mean, we don't have a losing record. We have a winning record against those teams.
Except he does against the Big Ten at 1-5. But and everybody goes picking stats, right?
Yep.
And it drives me crazy the last few years. We got to get off the whole bowl record thing because of what bowl games have become. Okay, guys enter the portal, guys opt out. I mean, come on, we're not measuring really conference to conference when you do bowl games. So he's defending the ACC. I'm not quite sure many football people would go, he's right. I mean, some of his coaches may say it publicly, like, yeah, but privately, come on. I mean, Miami's run last year was much needed by the ACC because of what Clemson's been the last couple of years, and Florida State stepped back, that you're all kind of now pumping up Miami there. And while Pitt's got a very talented quarterback coming back at a great freshman year, nobody's going to hold that argument like, hey, ACC, better brand of football.
Watch out for Pitt.
Now, I do believe, and I've said this for a couple of years, and I'll even throw the SEC into this, the middle down in the 4 power leagues, I don't believe is different. I don't. I don't think there's much of a gap. The middle. Top heavy, the Big Ten's deeper than the ACC. There's no question about it. He knows it too. Okay? So, but that went viral, and you got to put it into perspective of coach speak, and we all go hunting for stats, okay? So let me pivot to what I was teasing before. Greg Sankey spoke at the SEC opening of their media days, 4 days in Tampa. 4 days. He made the comment, hey, we play the best brand of football, because that's what you're supposed to say. The Big Ten's on a run of national championships, and the SEC certainly had a decade of dominance of all their championships. Sankey defended his position about the best football being played there, said second highest rated football league in the country compared to the National Football League. He is accurate, but he's also taking selective stats. And I wouldn't argue as far as players drafted and consistent performance by some programs. But I do think the Big Ten's made it a much more interesting debate in recent years. Now, to buy that Indiana is about to become a forever powerhouse, I guess we'll see. Right now, we're going on a 2-year sample size, but it's fine to have that argument. And Sankey's going to defend his position on SEC football. And I do think that there is something to the grind of a conference schedule that is tougher in some leagues than others. It is. Even though I've said, look, people say it's impossible to go to Starkville on a Saturday night. And my argument's been, then go to Manhattan, Kansas. It's just as tough. The SEC's got more 80, 90,000 seat stadiums that maybe make it a little bit tougher, but the grind of a conference schedule is hard anywhere, particularly in stadiums that are full. And while for example, the Big 12 doesn't have as many 80, 90,000 seat stadiums, their 50 to 65,000 seat stadiums that are pretty full are just as hard to play. You can't say, well, you got to go to Columbia. Go to Salt Lake and tell me it's easy to go to Utah, the last 15 years, for crying out loud. And despite all the criticism they're taking, I've been to Lubbock twice. Don't tell me that that's easy to go to Lubbock and things like that. So the whole argument about best conference, it's a fun game. I think the SEC's getting a little bit bothered, Chris, by the national sway of opinion towards the Big Ten, right? And part of that is some of the brands have moved around in the SEC. Georgia's Georgia, okay? LSU, Brian Kelly got fired, and now we're going to kind of do the whole lane thing that's there. Alabama, it's not Nick's Alabama. It's still Alabama, but it ain't Nick's Alabama. And not to deviate too much, but I saw somebody posted this, and by the way, interesting number. Let me go find this here, Chris. This was, here you go. Before Nick Saban's retirement in 2024, Ohio State had only 2 players from the state of Alabama all time. Okay? All of the top 15 prospects in the 2027 recruiting class, the top 15 prospects, 0 committed to the University of Alabama. During Nick Saban's entire run in Alabama, the number was never less than 7. You kind of wonder, distribution of talent and the pay-for-play thing that comes in to play. So I think some of that's bothered the SEC. When you're winning all the time, you go, best conference, no question, no argument. You're like, all right, they've got this run of champion. Now, not the same. But here's a clip from Sankey that I want to play. The audio's not great. But he was asked about, hey, these breakaway rumors. You guys aren't happy with all these acts in Congress and so forth and breakaway. And Sankey didn't shy away the question. Again, the audio's not great, but here's his answer.
So you phrased the question how real. So I'll take that as like real or not. So they're real. People have talked about that. They've opined about the frustrations that bring them to the point of saying we should look at something significantly different. They do not believe that is a leverage point. I think that's just honest communication. I prefer that to stay in the meeting room or on a video conference and not be part of the D1 ticker next morning. But I don't control all of that. And what I think is important is those comments represent a high level of frustration with the circumstance in which we find ourselves.
He goes on to further explain, and I'll give him credit. He's good at this. He didn't say that the league is aggressively looking at breaking away or anything like that. And we've discussed a little bit what that might look like if the SEC decided to take their ball and go someplace else. Greg Sankey knows probably the plus and minuses of both. He probably would tell you that, hey, a breakaway SEC with a new media deal is probably worth more than what they're making right now. The question is, though, that there's no national championship. You just be claiming the SEC champion to be your champion and sell that TV package and make a lot of money. But that's easier said than done to do that. And then the thought is, well, then they would have their own players association. You have contracts, you have salary cap and everything. He knows that's a massive jump to get from A to Z. It's a massive jump to get to A to Z. It's much harder than people think. He said about leverage. It's a careful leverage play. And the thought is, well, they would take the Big Ten. And I'm not quite sure the Big Ten's at that point to think about a breakaway. Because, by the way, that's not just in football. It also means you don't play in the NCAA basketball tournament anymore. You don't play in the College World Series anymore. You don't play in the Women's College World Series. You don't. So it's a big leap to get to something like that. But it is somewhat sad that we've reached the point that that's even a discussion. And then, Chris, as I brought this up before, okay, so does that mean that that you guys are going to follow the rules? Does that mean that everyone's going to sign on to say we're going to police ourselves? And I'm not going to violate a salary cap? I'm not going to find a way to get players signed? I mean, that's why Sankey knows it sounds good, but it's a lot more difficult. By the way, the other thing that he did say that was quickly contradicted on the 9-game schedule, because the SEC moved to 9. And his argument is, by the way, why the SEC also is among the best or the best in countries. And we already played the toughest schedule in the country. Now we entered a 9th game with our non-conference schedule. It's a much more difficult path. And he did take a few shots at the college football selection committee by not taking into account strength of schedule and the 9-game schedule. Eli Drinkwitz, the coach of Missouri, who was one of the first up today, did blast the 9-game schedule and says, I don't think anybody was for it. How did it pass then? How did it pass? And Drinkwitz's argument is, we already played the toughest schedule with 8. We didn't need a 9-conference game. Okay. Well, your committee, I mean, your members voted for it. So coaches may not want it, but that's why I think, Chris, some of this stuff just, it's going to go away in a few years. It's just noise. It's just noise, you know? Because one argument back to Eli is, you know why there's a 9th game? Because it's going to be worth more money. And do you want your school to make more money so you can pay players more money? This is what you do it for.
I just don't see how the SEC could ever break away, because they may think they could get a bigger TV deal, but I mean, are we really going to throw in teams like Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Missouri, Kentucky, Arkansas? These aren't big draws. It's the SEC is very top heavy. I don't see how that works.
Well, there's value to the SEC, and they would probably generate more money. How much, that's to be determined. It's just, do you have the you-know-what to actually do it? And then what is the long-term ramification? Because trust me, the rest of the membership of the 4-letter group that you don't like, that begins with N and ends with A, is going to say, well, you give up everything else. You want to break away with the football. You don't play in our basketball tournament. You don't play in our World Series in softball and baseball. You don't play in everything else. And that's a world that they would have to choose to live in. And then we just say, okay, by the way, your players are your players. Don't ever think about transferring into our schools, because we're not. I mean, that's why I think Greg Sankey is careful in how he chooses his words when it comes to this topic, because he knows that some of it is just noise. And I keep going back to this of the adults in the room, that at the end of the day, the structure of college sports means you have to protect your own and not care about anybody else. You know, the only reason why, well, it's more than one reason. The reason why they don't want to, Greg Sankey and his members of the Big Ten, they don't want to go all in on the Protect College Sports Act, which I don't think is a perfect bill, is they don't want to pull media rights, which I think is stupid, by the way. I'm not for that. But the problem is they don't want rules. They don't want rules. So you can't have it both ways. You can't sit there and say, well, we don't think it's a good idea that, we pull rights and everything. Just tell them why you don't really want this. You don't want Congress, after you went for years begging Congress for some sort of antitrust. Now you're like, yeah, I don't want that. Well, I guess I don't want somebody telling me what I can do. And Greg Sankey's job is to protect his 16 members. It's it. It's not to protect UCF or Oklahoma State or Boise State or Wake Forest. It's to protect the 16 members. The question is, at the end of the day, do you care about what's for the good of college sports? And the problem is, his answer is, I don't know what college sports is right now, so you're asking me to protect something that I don't know that I can protect. I can only care about my 16 schools, and that's why I take the position that I'm in. But day one of 4 days of, the propaganda and making coach speak and all that fun stuff. 11 o'clock hour kicks off with the news next.
Let's really do the news.
Yes.
Now it is time to do the news.
But now it's time for the news.
7 o'clock hour, WYGM Orlando, WJR HD2 Cocoa Beach. Let's get to the news. Breaking news, Chris. The Magic have finalized their preseason schedule. That doesn't get you to stop and listen. I don't know what else. Hello? Thing on? Hello? Are you kidding me? Playing at Memphis on October 7th, followed by Cleveland on the road, then home against Cleveland and Miami. Home games on October 13th and the 16th. That's the Magic preseason schedule that's been finalized. This happened yesterday in the 106th minute of the World Cup final.
Poro chance to cross, hooks it in. Williams knocks it down.
Ferran Torres becomes a hero forever in this in Spain with his goal in the 106th minute, and Spain 1-0 at the moment on Argentina. Argentina did not get a shot on goal for 117 minutes. 117 minutes in the final whistle.
With the last chance of the game, he'll lift his ball forward. Simon thought about coming, stays at home. It's knocked down. It only finds Ferran Torres. His final touch of the game. He had the decisive touch as well. Spain, for the second time in their history, have won the World Cup.
You're Ferran Torres. You just kind of walk naked down the middle of, Barcelona, Madrid, huh?
He could probably do whatever he wants.
Right? Just like, hey, man, whatever. Right? You want to hear some more Andres Cantor again?
Bring it.
Huh?
Para Lamin. Toque atrás, Porro la pone al área. Cabezazo atrás. Tiene el remate. ¡Gol, Ferran!
He brought it for another minute more. But a big goal for Spain. They win at 1-0. Kylian Mbappe, by the way, wins the Golden Boot. He had 10 goals because third place match goals count. That's the rule, Chris. I mean, he added 2. Messi didn't score, and Mbappe ended up with 10 goals in the 6-4 loss to England. Ryan Fox of New Zealand, just the 4th player to win an Open Championship with a birdie on the final hole. And the 39-year-old wins his first major with the 11.5-foot putt on the 72nd hole yesterday. Maybe not the biggest names on a leaderboard, but he made it exciting, and they made it exciting. Had a chance to birdie at 17. Didn't, got the birdie at 18 and wins. Scotland's Josh Kerr set the record for the mile, 3:42.66 in London. The record sat for almost 27 years. Beat it by about a half second. Pretty good.
I'd say so.
3:42.66, man. That's just insane. Just insane. What else do we have here for you? Caitlin Clark dropped a 45 on Friday. Do we have to do she was called differently and fouls, or can we just say that she had 45 points in the game on Friday? Let's see. What else do we have here for you? Dodgers took 2 or 3 from the Yankees. The Red Sox have won 13 straight. They swept the Rays, moved within 6 in the American League East. And the Rays suffer a 5-game losing streak. The Yankees did pick up a half game at the end of the weekend, trailed the Rays by a 1.5 in the American League East. I'm convinced, even though I said it might come out news, I was wrong when we said what we'll be talking about Monday. There's no new news on Aaron Judge, but I'm convinced he's not returning this year. Yeah.
It's not good.
No. Joey Logano won the NASCAR stop at North Wilkesboro. And let's see. Tonight, baseball. Dodgers and Phillies play tonight. Dodgers 63-37 after 100 games, despite the loss yesterday. Still pretty good.
I believe that's the best record in baseball, no?
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, Anthony Rizzo caught a home run ball on Saturday at Wrigley Field where he was watching the game from the bleachers, back celebrating a 10-year anniversary of the 2016 World Cup team.
World Cup team?
World Series team, sorry. It's the second time in less than a year that Rizzo's been in the outfield and caught a home run ball. What's the odds of that?
That's kind of impressive.
It's pretty good. Yeah. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. And Ward Manuel, the AD at Michigan, will step down at the end of the calendar year. Michigan did not release the full investigation in the athletic department, but a great word salad document that they released today. And they're making a mistake. The report will get out. They're claiming it's not coming out to protect people that do not need to be named because of the sensitivity of some things. I get that, but they're going to regret it because it's going to leak. And the bottom line is, if Ward Manuel is going to be resigning on December 31st, why isn't he out now? But you can read the word salad statement that Michigan put out, because in the end, it's about protecting the brand. SEC Media Days underway, the first of 4 days in Tampa for the first time. Frank, our engineer's over there,
Oh, good for him.
working all 4 days. Put up at the hotel right there on the water.
Excuse us.
Per diem.
Look at him.
Yeah. Yeah, he sent a picture to the broadcast crew here earlier, which, I don't know why you're not on that email chain, but Aaron Murray, the former Georgia quarterback, who does a lot of, media stuff, Frank goes, should I let him know that I played high school football as a quarterback? I go, yeah, that'll go over well. Just let him know. The guy going, can you hear? Yeah, I played quarterback. Yeah. That'll impress him, Frank. Yeah. Yeah. I ran the wishbone on a 4-6 team as a natural drop back quarterback. Frank thought he'd be an NFL quarterback until they fired the coach that he had. I'm telling a story here. In high school, they brought in a guy that actually coached. I think it was later in my high school. He sucked. He was terrible. And told Frank, we're going to run the wishbone or the option. Frank was like, I'm a drop back quarterback. He goes, not anymore.
Oh, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That coach was terrible. Yeah. All right. When we come back, sportsmanship, does it matter? I'll get to that in a moment when the Beat of Sports continues. A little show within the show coming up in about 10 minutes. The next break on radio. Join us in the stream on our YouTube page, 96 in the Game Orlando, and click on the logo on the live button or get us on the Twitter, 96 on Game On, and access the stream. We'll give you a chance to partake, listen, watch, maybe give some feedback. Before I get to this story, I just read this, unrelated. Chris, your thoughts on this? Hang on, I got to find it. Steak and Shake. Okay.
I just saw this. Yeah, I just saw this.
About the
drinks.
QR code?
Yep.
So apparently they may be rolling out at the soda station for refills. You've got to show a receipt with a QR code that shows that you purchased a soda to get a free refill versus I'll just do a cup for water, and then when you sit down, you go up and take as many refills of soda. Your thoughts?
Based on my algorithm, this is what the world has become. We just don't care about rules. We don't care about structure. We don't care about anything.
Chris turned this into national chaos.
But seriously, it's what it's become.
No, I don't have a problem with it.
No, I don't. I'm grand scheme of things. It's soda. It's what, $1, a couple bucks for a soda.
Yeah, but you didn't pay for it.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I agree.
I'm fine. I am so super sensitive to, like, if I ask for a cup for water, okay, and usually it at the soda dispenser there'll be like the little white button that you press. It's usually by Sprite or maybe the lemonade. That if you just press it, then the lemonade is fine. I go out of my way like, hey, anybody want to come watch me? This is water. Water. I'm not good.
But they also used to give you, I don't know if they still do. I'm sure. They give you like a different
cup.
But
some people don't care. They just think they fill it up with whatever. But I love the comments of Bill. Dude, it's just ridiculous. I'm like, you didn't buy the soda. Yeah, but why should Chris be able to pay $2.59 for the soda and you get the cup of water and get the same amount? Well,
nobody enforces rules anymore.
Right. It's Greg Sankey's fault that now there's going to be a QR code at a Steak and Shake.
No,
yeah.
I have no issue with it.
Okay. I want to play something here.
Okay.
Unless I just lost it. No, I got it. Okay. So, Chris, we talked earlier about soccer. Chris is not the biggest soccer guy in the world. Chris is not. In fact, I think Chris is more of a soccer guy than a golf guy. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. But you may be aware of what happened with Bryson DeChambeau Friday at the Open Championship. Okay, for those that don't, and I'm going to try to be as general here, he's got a ball that goes into the muck, okay, and or the vescue, as we would say. And as he goes to play it and tries to line up his shot, he ends up stepping on a lot of the surrounding stuff that kind of helps him with his backswing. So just imagine, like, most of us hit it into an area and the ball's somewhere in there. He's just kind of stepping around and all right, well, now I'll hit it. Well, he's now improved his backswing because by stepping on the grass and the weeds and the stuff there, it gives him a better chance to hit the ball. And there's this whole big discussion about what he can't do. He's not penalized as he makes the shot. It's after the round when he's approached and he said, hey, went back, looked at it, and we're assessing a 2-stroke penalty. Well, then he flips out. He decides he may not play, withdraw from the tournament. There's now a couple of reports that he literally thought about calling President Trump in the wake of the whole FIFA red card and that Trump would call the RNA. And I guess the report is he didn't do that. And Bryson hasn't said if that's true or not, but a couple of golf people have reported that. I don't know if that's true or not. Rory McIlroy is asked, this is Friday. This isn't Sunday. This is Friday, about what took place with Bryson. And here is Rory's response to the whole incident on the course.
Look, I won't pretend to be up here and defend Bryson. I'm not particularly fond of him. I think a lot of it's performative. I think a lot of it's for attention. And to hold the tournament hostage like that and have all of us, volunteers, players, everyone waiting on him to depart, I didn't feel like it was a great look.
Okay. Chris, you have any comments?
Is what he did legal or illegal? Is he allowed to do what he did?
No.
So then why is DeChambeau throwing a fit?
You didn't penalize him at the moment when the rules.
Why was he not penalized?
That's his argument. His argument is you didn't penalize me. And wait, by the way, the quote by the RNA official is it was not done intentional. So what you're telling him is, hey, I don't think you did it on purpose, but we got to issue a 2-stroke penalty because you did kind of improve the area. His argument is, whoa, we didn't issue the penalty when we were there, and you said it wasn't intentional, so why would I be issued the penalty? That's his argument. Rory's argument is, I can't stand him, okay? And it's an act, and it's under my skin. And he held up everybody, and it was ridiculous, and I don't like him. And I am paraphrasing, but that's clearly Rory McIlroy's position. Do you want to add to what your thought was?
He should have been penalized right then and there. If it's against the rules, again, talk about the world descending into chaos. And
if you and I are playing golf, and we said we're going to enforce the actual rules of the PGA, USGA, in this case, the RNA, which is what they call the group with it, you're not supposed to stomp on the area around you to improve your ability of a backswing. And the claim is that that's what he did, although the official said he didn't do it on purpose, but because he did do it, he's got to be penalized.
If he didn't do it then and there, that I will side with DeChambeau. If he didn't do it right then and there, regardless of if it was intentional or not.
Right. And by the way, there are some that believe, and I think if I back this up, this is the McIlroy clip, I think, from the beginning.
So I was watching it live. I was up in the players' lounge watching it with a few other players. And as soon as he made the step into the ball, we all sort of looked at each other and were like, that didn't seem right.
Which makes some people believe that the players in the locker room may have tipped off the RNA because a lot of people don't like Bryson DeChambeau. Now, Rory's not admitting that, and the RNA hasn't said, yeah, the players had a discussion and came to us, and we went back and reviewed it. But there's the perception, a lot of you guys don't like him, so therefore you went out of your way. My thought is this. When he says it's performative, it's an act. I don't totally disagree with Rory. But, and I've said this about Bryson DeChambeau, he doesn't regret taking the money from Liv. Okay, he whatever he got, he got. I get why he bothers people because, and you got to go back a little bit. He was the classic analytics guy. The computer told him how to swing. He makes his own clubs and all that stuff. So therefore, it's an act. Then the whole thing on YouTube, where that's more important to him than winning championships, and maybe it has impacted his game. He hasn't played as strong, and I still believe, I did it again, that Bryson DeChambeau misses the weekly PGA Tour. That when he goes on the live events and he's teeing off on a 6th hole with 8 people there, it bothers him because if he was on the PGA Tour, he'd be one of the biggest draws. But I also think it's this with him. Rory McIlroy may be a throwback of an old school guy that his history matters. How many majors can you win? Where do I stack up to the greatest players ever? And part of this is we keep asking the next generations, plural, to have the same passion as the greats that are the pioneers of the game. And I also think that's a bit unfair because the money today in every sport and in this sport, these guys are playing in purses on the PGA Tour for $20 million. And even on Live, as long as they're going to hang around, you could be the 40th best player on the PGA money list, and you're making incredible money. Maybe DeChambeau is doing it as an act, drawing attention. Maybe it's just a different flake. And maybe his priorities aren't, I want to win as many majors as I can, and where do I stack up in history? I think he overreacted, DeChambeau, but I don't argue his point of, well, when did you want to penalize me? The whole thing about he was in the driving range at like 11 o'clock at night hitting golf. I mean, that is an act. That part is an act. But I think he's a different dude. I think he's a different cat. And maybe it wouldn't play 30, 40 years ago, the act, but I think he's a different dude. And you either accept that you got different guys that aren't motivated the same way, And Rory is kind of a throwback guy. And I get it. I'm not playing like Rory. Where all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, we're not teeing off on time because this jerk has stopped the tournament and I already don't like him to begin with. So you got to put all the live stuff in it as well, which kind of percolates. If there was one guy that was going to rub everybody, that was the guy. That was the guy.
Again, to me, it just goes back to if it was illegal and not allowed, he should have been penalized right then and there. If they didn't do it, then DeChambeau can look at it like, hey, I got away with one.
That's the age-old argument about why should somebody be able to sit on their couch watching TV eating Funyuns. I don't know why I bought Funyuns anyway, but it sounds kind of cool. and call and go, hey, on the 7th hole, I saw Chris. He did this, and he should be penalized, and they penalized me when not every shot's televised. And if you're going to penalize me, penalize me. Now, if you sign a scorecard wrong after your round, okay, but
that's what I'm saying.
His argument is the rules official came in at that moment, and I should have been, if you're going to penalize me, penalize me. And his argument is I should have been penalized because I didn't do it on purpose. And, oh, by the way, the rules official agrees it wasn't done on purpose. Then why am I getting penalized?
I'd argue that, one, did you really not do it on purpose? Did you really not clear out?
If you watch it, he does it on purpose.
Okay. So.
I don't know how anybody could watch that and conclude that he's just casually walking around. He's walking around looking. He's doing it on purpose.
So, again, he should have been penalized right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he wasn't, I don't think you can then go back and penalize him because people called up RNA or maybe players got together and talked to the RNA and said, hey, why was he not penalized? It was a missed call.
Right. It was, again, it impacted him. The two-stroke penalty changed the leaderboard on Friday, and assuming he would have played the same golf Saturday, and so I guess it cost him like $270,000 of where he would have finished with the two strokes versus not. A little bit unfair to say how he would have played if the two strokes don't come off.
But, I seriously hope that it's not true that he tried to get Trump involved. I seriously hope that's not true.
I mean, there's a couple somewhat respected golf writers that say it was a thought that, I mean, he's a big fan of the president and he's played golf with the president. Now, my first reaction is the same as it was about the red cards. Like, I don't like the concept of doing that.
Bad precedent.
Yeah, but he doesn't care. What I mean by that is he doesn't care what you think or I think. And I don't think Bryson DeChambeau cares about what Rory McIlroy thinks about him either. Because I think Bryson's like, you don't like me, I don't like you. That's okay. We'll be fine. And I think some of his stuff is an act. But I also think that he's just a different dude. I didn't like him at first. And then I figured out, like, whatever. He's just different. He's different. But he clearly stepped on it to improve his life. I mean, I'd say right now, if that happens, you and I are playing, I'm just dropping the ball in the middle of the fairway. I'm not taking a penalty. I didn't go out there to hack it. I went out there to have fun.
You don't want to do a little yard work while you're golfing?
Hey, Mark, it's a two-stroke penalty. No, it's not. You just moved it 50 yards in the middle of the fairway. Yeah, it's a penalty. By your rules? What do you mean? I'm not playing penalty golf here today. Well, it's a par 4. You have a 9. Hey, 4 is the suggested score. I took 9 on this hole. To me, that's about right.
Just like the speed limit is suggested.
That's partly why I don't play much golf anymore. Get caught with that guy, You're going to take the penalty there. I'm not taking any penalty today. I'm not registering this score with the USGA. There's no handicap involved here. Yeah.
Now, if we pull some stuff on the mini golf course, there might be some issues.
Yeah, I don't cheat in mini golf.
Good.
I don't cheat in regular golf. I just don't play by the rules. It's a big difference.
I don't see a difference.
No, there is.
Explain it to me, Lucy.
4 of us get on the first tee,
mm-hmm.
and somebody says, hey, whatever, we're going to play for $20 each and so forth, and we're going to enforce all rules. I make the decision then, am I in? If I say that I'm in, I'll follow all your rules. If we're out there just having fun, right? Hey, don't worry about my score. Don't worry about it.
But if you're still playing
there's
to
nothing
win.
No. If we've determined there's no contest, it's just 4 guys having fun playing around a golf.
I don't understand that.
Okay. If I agreed to some type of competition, I will follow the rules and you could assess whatever penalty.
Everything should be a competition.
I'm just saying, if 4 guys decide, just have fun, we're not keeping anybody else's score. I don't like the guy that when you get done at 7 goes, did you have an 8? And I'm like, why are you keeping my score? What do you care what I'm shooting?
Everything's competition.
But if we're not competing for anything.
Mark, everything is a competition.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. No, I'm just telling you right now, that ball's getting in the middle of the fairway. Okay. If I snap hook something into the woods and there's a chance of some rabid boll weevil in there that could gnaw my face off, we're just dropping in the middle of the fairway and I'm hitting 2. That's 3. 2. 3. 2. You understand? Don't worry about it. Keep your head forward. Don't look back here. Okay.
Boll weevil?
All right. We'll go on show within the show in the stream, and we'll come back. This guy's story, when we come back, if anybody believes this story, you got a problem. I'll explain next.
Everything's a competition.
So you're saying if you and I and 2 other people wanted to play a round of golf, no chance of that happening. But
no, you don't want to see me on a golf course.
If we did, and everybody said, hey, we're just having fun today.
I'm keeping track in my head.
You keeping track of other people's scores?
Trying to, yeah.
Why? I don't understand that.
Because I want to win. I like to win.
Okay. But let's say you recognize you're the worst golfer of all 4.
100% I know I am.
Okay, so why do you care what the other 3 people shoot? I don't understand that.
Again, it's to me,
here,
everything is a competition.
But like you and I will, for example, I don't want anybody to give me a 4-foot putt. Like if we played, the only one I'll take is if it's on the edge, okay? But someone's, hey, pick it up. I don't want to pick it up. Why? Because I want to get better.
Yeah.
So I can't stand that. When we play, and yet I don't care if somebody picks it up. Like if you're 20 feet away and you pick it up and you count it as a made putt, then you're just an idiot. Okay, you're not helping get better. But like if we're playing and you putt and it's 8 inches away and you pick up and like But the guy that has 20 feet for a birdie that picks it up, then I got a problem with that. But otherwise, I don't care what you shoot. Now again, if I stand on the first tee and I agree to whatever we're playing, then I'm all in on your rules. I got no problem with penalties. I got no problem with no gimmies. I'm all in. But if we're just having fun, I don't care what you shoot. I don't know why anybody cares about that.
Again, everything is a competition.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Whether you want to admit it or not, everything is a competition.
Is Chris right or am I right? Is Chris right or am I right? Again, I'm like
whether you want to admit it or not, you are competing against the other 3 people in your group.
I guess the difference is I have the mental ability of if all 4 go, we're just having fun today. I don't care what you shoot.
I 100% would believe you pick any other 3 people you go golfing with.
Yeah.
Someone is keeping score in their head.
100%. Yeah, but I'm talking about the guy that there's always the one guy that wants to be the official scorer for everyone. That he's putting out everyone's score. And if we're not playing for anything, what do you care if I took a 12 or a 5? Why do you care?
I'm telling you, Mark.
And by the way, I say that meaning I wouldn't lie going, I shot 78. I likely lie to go, it's probably a 118, not the other way. Yeah. And I just don't. And I get the serious golfers. Some of you listening, watching that are hardcore golfers. I don't golf that much anymore. So if I go out to play around and go, I'm truly having fun. I'm not out there like, man, I want to get better, which is why I don't give myself the 8-footer like some people. But I'm not obsessed with your score.
I'm obsessed with winning. Like when I went
I hate to break it to you,
when
but
we
I know
went-
you're telling me your golf game is you're not winning.
No, I'm not going to win anything in golf. But like when we went bowling, regardless of who I'm bowling with, I still have to have at least the best score. I don't like having the second best score.
But wait. When we went bowling, we kept score.
There was people just, I mean, there's bowling for fun.
No, but at least you and I was keeping score.
Yeah.
And I was trying to do good. I think my son-in-law was,
But again,
my son-in-law to be. But that's different. I didn't say turn the scoreboard off, let's just roll the ball.
I don't think you can do that.
No, but I mean, we were keeping score. Before we started, I acknowledge we're keeping score.
Like I'll go on a date with my wife.
You keeping score on the date?
Damn straight.
How do you keep score on the date?
What do you mean for bowling? It's
then you smell like, hey, date's going well. It's a 6 for me.
No,
I don't think you had a good hour. I'll give you 3 points there.
If there's anything competitive wise, air hockey. I told you the alphabet game. My wife always cheats in, even though she wins.
Yeah, but air hockey, there's a natural scoreboard right there. You're going to keep score.
My point is, I have to win at everything that we do. Everything to me is
I
a
can't
competition.
wait. I can't wait till your lovely daughter
I'm going to be
reaches
here at
a
everything.
certain age.
I'm going to be here at everything.
And you're going to be like, hey, you got to learn how to lose 21-3 final. See you tomorrow. I can't wait for that
How's
moment.
she getting 3 on me?
Right. I mean, I can't wait for that moment where you just
chance.
embarrass your little daughter.
No chance she's
along
getting,
the way there.
No chance she's getting 3 on me.
Wow. Yeah. There's always that guy too that what'd you get? What'd I get? What? If we're competing and it's about teams, I'm all in. I have no problem with that. It's just if we're out there.
Everything is a competition.
This happened to me. It's probably been 15 years ago at Champions Gate, where I went out and I was added to a group. Okay. We're staying out there and everything. And then I was added to the group and I just wanted to play. I just want to get out and hit golf balls, everything. And sure enough, I get paired with guys that, they think they're Tiger Woods, and he's like, I think that's an 11. I'm like, yeah, it comes after my 10 last hole. You think it matters what I'm shooting here right now? What'd you get there? I think it was a 9. He goes, did you count the penalty stroke on the drop back there? I'm like, would you like to have the club shoved? All right, back to the show.
More sports, more banter, more Marc Daniels. This is the Beat of Sports.
NFL training camps continue to get rookies in and open up camps. Chris, I'd laughed when I saw this story. Not Cam Scatterboy doing a backflip. That was when there's nothing in it to begin with. You're not in shock by it. But on Friday, I'm sure you saw the story. On Friday, the NFL announced that Ryan Gold, the director of scouting for the Cardinals, was suspended indefinitely for violating the league's gambling policy. By the way, an investigation that the league notified the Cardinals that they were doing concluded the investigation, notified the Cardinals of what they found, told the Cardinals about the indefinite suspension, and the Cardinals agreed, 1, to the investigation and 2, to the findings of the National Football League. Then Ryan Gold's attorney goes, well, hang on a second now. We're going to appeal this thing. We don't think they got anything on my guy because the attorney says it was Gold's wife making $10 weekly bets with a group of high school friends on parlays that Gold was not involved in. And there's no way that Gold knew about who they were drafting because the argument is that he may have tipped off somebody to gamble on who the Cardinals were drafting, and they may have made a lot of money on this. And I'm just guessing that the league probably is more than just an assumption by someone. But his argument is, me? That's my wife that was betting these parlays.
We're going down a slippery slope here. It's going to get a lot worse before it ever gets better with gambling in the NFL or in sports in general.
Well, I don't know if I agree with that. I think what you're watching is an industry figuring out how it ends up settling, and it's just taking longer than people thought. People thought, well, we're going to, legalize gambling, and it's going to police itself. It's going to be fun. There's going to be peaks and valleys of it until the industry really figures it out. And the industry, for the most part, does a great job in oversight and everything. But his story's hilarious. What?
That's
me?
my wife.
My wife? Are you kidding me? I got nothing to do. Parlay. It's her. Here's the question I have. Ready? How do you think his wife responded when he said, okay, I need you to play along with something, okay? I got an idea here, okay? Just hear me out a second, all right? Just hear me out. We're going to say you were the one that was gambling, with your, your high school friends that you have and so forth. Just making some $10 bets and, a few parlays and so forth. What do you think? And she's like, yeah, okay. How'd that one go over?
Well, I would like to know
Well, then he tells the Cardinals, wasn't me, it was my wife.
Well, I would like to know the thought process of how you landed on wife's high school friends that she's gambling
honey,
with.
you're in that group chat with your friends all the time. We can make them into compulsive gamblers. They'll be for it. Don't you think? Huh? That girl Susan, she hangs out here a lot. Just have her open up an account. No big deal. You get bonus bucks. It's easy. Like they give you free money. Trust me. Here, give me your phone. Give me your phone. Here. Right? Like, again, the NFL has to notify the Cardinals, hey, we've been brought some information. We're going to open an investigation. The Cardinals have to approve of
And
that.
I want to know who I guess brought this to the NFL's attention.
That I don't know, but I do know, reading both from ESPN and I was in the Arizona Republic reading their story, the league notifies the Cardinals and says, hey, we've come across information. We're opening up an investigation. The Cardinals agree to the investigation. The NFL goes in and they interview a bunch of people in the Cardinals organization, okay? The NFL draws the conclusion, gives the conclusion back to the Cardinals, who have a right to dispute it, do not dispute it, and sign off on the NFL's investigation and the penalty. And then he goes, hey, I didn't do any of that. I mean, it's one thing for the Cardinals to go, hang on. I'm not quite sure that we're comfortable with that. They signed off on it, which means that it's pretty much the NFL goes, here's the evidence. And the Cardinals are like, all right, go ahead. And he's like, not me. That was my wife that did it.
So if he's found, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, if he's found guilty of him being the one gambling, he's done in the NFL, no?
Well, I think this is just to get his money from the Cardinals. I don't think the NFL got as far as they did, without the assistance of authorities. Because remember, and I know this in my role at UCF, and I know what's legal now and what's not legal. Okay, the minute you open an account, the system is set up that your employer will be notified instantly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could open up an account, and there are things that I could legally bet on. Okay, I don't because I'm just afraid of doing the wrong thing and losing my job. The NFL had to have gotten tipped off by authorities that said, hey, I'm just letting you know, this person has an account, this person was doing this. The argument back of me, I mean, my wife takes my phone all the time and is making bets on it. Yeah. Like, what a flag to fly here. Goes at me, it was my wife. He just wants his money here. He wants a settlement with the Cardinals.
Not a good look.
I mean, the answer to the question is, can he coach again? I mean, unless it is completely, hey, they blew it. It's wrong. I don't know how he works again in the National Football League. But your argument about the system, this is how the system works. This is how you're tipped off on things like this, because there is the work of the authorities. And when you open an account and work gets registered, and that's what happened here. Yeah.
So you don't think things are gonna get worse from the gambling perspective?
What's worse?
I mean, what we've already seen in the NBA.
Yep.
with Terry Rozier. You don't think something's going to come out where you have practice squad player, third
Oh
string?
no. You're never going to be able to stop that because there's always going to be people that think it's a shortcut to get to somewhere. But the ability of tracking it, because my comeback to you is look at how many things they have uncovered. Doesn't mean they caught them all, but the oversight system in place it's excellent. Can it be better? Yeah, you're not going to get everything, um, and you'll never be able to eliminate the person that is willing to compromise their situation. I think what's happened though is that you continue to showcase examples of it so that it registers with some people. But we've had guys. I mean, Terry Rozier was making $20+ million, and he still had the decision making ability to make a bad one. You're never going to be able to prevent that. But we in this country, we haven't touched anywhere near the scandals that other countries have dealt with when it comes to match fixing and things like that. Are examples of that happening? Yeah, absolutely. But the oversight is still in its infancy. I mean, we're not 20 years into gambling in this country, and the sports books aren't perfect, but the sports book, the security measures in place are actually really good, designed to trigger. Hey, here's something that seems a bit odd, but you're never going to limit it all. It's impossible. Come back. We'll put a wrap on the Monday show next.
Latest news, gossip, trends, and off-the-wall stories. Trends.
That's the craziest thing I ever heard.
Italy apparently is reaching out to Pep Guardiola to see if he'd be interested in coaching their national team. The Italians missed the World Cup. By the way, during the bridge, you didn't jump in when I was talking with Kelly about Tom Brady, his whole weekend stunt with Logan Paul. Why is he doing this?
I don't know. And I saw the clip of them flicking each other off. So dumb. It's dumb.
Again, the dude already is making so much money. Why? I mean, does he like wrestling so much that he would buy into this?
Well, don't you think he'd want to put more time kind of focusing on the Raiders and improving?
No.
Why? Then why buy ownership stake?
Because it's worth a lot of money. Well, you don't think he's actually going to be a hardcore football guy for the Raiders, do you?
Why not?
Because he would have stepped away from Fox if it really mattered to him to do that. One thing you can say about guys like John Lynch, he worked at it. Ozzie Newsome worked at it, became arguably the best GM in the league. Lynch is, respected. I mean, that's time and commitment. I mean, Troy Aikman telling you that he's going to be active with the Dolphins. No, you're not. Otherwise, you'd step away from Fox and do it. I mean, it's about the money. But I don't think Brady's going to be all in on the Raiders and how we build a championship team. I just don't get the whole thing with Logan Paul here.
Well,
the money. He
I was going to say, to your point, then that's exactly what it's about. Then it's money.
But whatever he's getting paid by Fanatics, which is a lot already in WWE, he could easily get that. Just do one other. Just go do another product endorsement deal.
He doesn't have to do anything the rest of his life.
No, he doesn't. But even if you're money hungry, but I guess maybe he's into the whole wrestling thing. I don't know. That one just kind of makes me scratch my head a little bit. Tomorrow we'll talk with Matt Michelle, his weekly visit. This upcoming year in the NBA, the Magic have yet to announce their local deal to give you video of the game. I mean, we'll have all the radio stuff here. And if they do, it may be a one-year deal because the NBA is moving closer towards what they want is a national streaming deal for your local games. We'll get to that story tomorrow, which a lot of people may not realize what that means. Missed any of today's program, go where you get your favorite podcast. Type of the Media Sports on demand to get access to the show. If you go to our YouTube page, you can rewatch the video stream if you want. Chris, have a good day.
You too, Mark.
Chris Vasquez produced. I'm Marc Daniels. We'll see you tomorrow for the Beat of Sports.